Listen, what I would do to get TP'd right now. Now that it's spring, we wanted to make an update video thanking you guys for crossing 700,000 because that's a lot of people listening. I'm really grateful and wanted to make a video talking about some of the plans that we have for the channel, but also breaking down a list of streaming recommendations during this indoor quarantine period. You know, at some point the office isn't going to load anymore. Friends already isn't available. So I went through all of the major streaming services and compiled a list of LME recommendations to binge while we're all doing our part indoors. So let me give a shout out to all the first responders, all the health workers, everyone working essentials, nobody higher up at GameStop. You guys are heroes for not just being out there, but literally inside handling something where the wiki page isn't even complete yet. Meanwhile, everyone else just needs to stay at home, not spreading their germs to others, teaching their kids how to control their debt through Animal Crossing, and Uber eating locally, not for ourselves, but for America. So to keep you entertained inside, here are my binge picks for these 4 services because I believe they're the ones most subscribed to. I think Disney Plus and Apple will have some newer stuff right above the horizon, but for right now, LME's uploading more. They do have a bunch of stuff because obviously there's a generation's worth of content there, but a cool feature that they have is that you can actually on both go up over here and cancel the account so that you can get... If it comes down to one, I've always been saying, you gotta go for the quality. These dudes were not TV before it was cool. But in terms of movies, these would be the ones that I recommend right here, my little lineup, with a little extra emphasis on The Tale, which is the only HBO original movie on my list so far. This is a Sundance film that does cover really dark subject matter, but handles memory and flashbacks in a very compelling way. HBO is also showcasing a lot of its movies and shows, really good shows for free. So that's a really cool thing. And I don't even think you need to be on HBO. You can get it through your Hulu account. So that's a really cool thing that they're offering. Definitely take advantage of that. Because when it comes to TV shows, obviously you have the classics. They have incredible ongoing series at the moment. But I wanted to mention some other completed shows that I think are worth the binge, especially these 3. First off, there's McMillions, a new docuseries that just wrapped breaking down the McDonald's monopoly scam, where millions were funneled during the 90s.
Somebody offers you $1 million, you're going to take it. Unless you got to kill somebody, then you might not be interested.
There's also Oz, which is beloved, but I wish it got a little bit more attention. It's the first HBO hour-long series that they premiered. It follows the inmates at the Oswald State Correctional Facility, and it stars JK. It's fantastic. High Maintenance, since it's 420, is another really cool anthology series, I guess, to mention, because it doesn't really have to do with weed, but it does have to do with weed. It just follows different people through NYC who just so happen to know the same guy. They get really creative throughout the seasons, and it's airing its final episodes right now, if it's not already completed, so it's a perfect time to binge. Other than that, there is also True Detective, which I think ran for 1 season, so definitely watch that. Now, when it comes to Netflix, they have a couple of originals. Movie-wise, this would be my indoor binge lineup right here, with extra emphasis on the thriller The Invisible Guest. I'm not sure how many people have seen this one, but I think it's very enjoyable. Curious to hear a lot of people's thoughts on this one, as well as for the action fans out there and the people who like The Raid and may have not seen this, The Night Comes For Us. Fantastic action-packed choreography. In terms of TV shows, where do we even start? Y'all need to give me recommendations. We have The OA, Ozark, Dark, Mindhunter, BoJack Horseman, When They See Us, Easy, Glow, American Vandal. There is so much Russian Doll, Dead to Me, VeggieTales in the... Moving over to the Prime movie list, it is jam-packed. I don't even know where to start here. If you haven't seen The Handmaiden, definitely check out The Handmaiden. It is fantastic. I recently caught it for the first time. I felt dumb for barely catching it. The Imposter, one of the best documentaries you'll see. Under the Silver Lake, I'm still trying to figure out what that is. This is a whole jam-packed list to see right here. But if anything, I would say end with Patterson, because I'm sure some of you may be getting annoyed with who you're quarantined with. And this is a reminder that there's no better place to be than with the person you love. In terms of TV shows, they've got breakout shows I really liked and in some cases loved, but I wanted to recommend Homecoming, the psychological thriller based on the podcast that follows Julia Roberts at a military center, helping soldiers transition back to their regular lives. But there's something else going on in this place. They've already introduced a 2nd season trailer that's going to be coming out. I don't know how connected they're going to be because some of the cast members aren't coming back, but I really love the 1st season and I think it stands on its own, and that's great television. Lorena is a docuseries which was gripping, to say the least. Forever is a dramedy series that I can't really say anything about or it'll ruin it. It's only 8 episodes. Go watch the first 3 and let me know what you think about it, because I really do like this show, as well as Undone, which is insane. Some of the trippiest visuals. The BTS shows how many layers there literally are to this, and it still has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes as of this recording. So if you want to see a creative mini-series with a season 2 where a woman manipulates time to find the truth behind her father's death, then this is for you. That said, I still probably won't watch Botch. Finally, with Hulu, they kind of have a cheat code since they have practically every movie from Neon. We did a whole March bracket over on Intercut where we talked about all of the jam-packed movies that this studio has, on top of the fact that they also have Portrait of a Lady on Fire and Parasite, 2 of our favorite movies, not just of the last year, but of the decade. So yeah, Hulu's doing pretty well. Here are some of the other ones I would recommend, specifically Free Solo, if you guys didn't get to catch that in the theater, specifically because it will not make you want to go outside. And I completely stand by this being a thriller. That said, they also have Palm Springs and Bad Hair that they picked up at Sundance, so I am curious to see what a lot of these streaming services do with the movies that they've already acquired from earlier festivals, because then that means that there will be a lot more in store. In terms of TV shows, they do have some pretty cool ongoing stuff, even things that are going the weekly route on the site through FX, but I want to highlight their comedies, because they let them get away with a lot. Difficult People is difficult. Pen 15 is as awkward as can be. Shrill loves its title, but I love Rami.
Mom, you can't just walk up to a Muslim girl and like start spitting game or something. What am I supposed to say? Like, hey, can I get your father's number?
Yes, why not?
On top of that, Hulu has Broad City and Gumball, and I revisit those more than people do Dunder Mifflin. I wanted to add another little segment right here and maybe make it a monthly one, talking about some YouTubers that I would recommend. And these 4 YouTubers I followed for a while, and they're still uploading a bunch during this quarantine, so I think you should definitely check them out. Stu and Nix and Nax have been making stuff for a long time. Stu's putting out a lot more quarantine lists for you to binge, so if there's any movies that you want to get recommended, definitely go hit him up. Nicole is uploading movie commentaries from current to classics, so I'm sure that both will put a movie on your radar that you may have not seen.
Is that a crow eating her tit?
What the fuck am I watching?
And these next 2 talk about a bunch of movies I haven't even seen. Spooky Astronauts and Slasher Reviews both specifically specialize in horror and have a bunch of recommendations for all of you now at home during the day who will probably finally watch those scary movies you were putting off because it wasn't 12 p.m. They review a bunch of film festivals and smaller films, so they have a lot of great coverage that I appreciate. And once theaters open, we may actually be able to catch those one day. Till then, a big thank you to all of you who've listened to these videos. If you don't know, every Friday here on LME, we've been hosting a live movie trivia competition called Cineclash. For those who've been here since the A to Z days, pretty much it's a bunch of movie questions, quotes, stills. I get asked to the live chat, and whoever guesses the correct answer first gets a free movie. And considering those new rentals are $20 for one viewing, we figured this would be a cool weekly show to bring back to get y'all some free movies that you can win. Test your cinema knowledge while you're at it, because yeah, they're getting pretty expensive out there. I've been having a lot of fun hosting them on top of the Intercut podcast, where we've been getting new guests and breaking down brackets from like Neon and Oscar movies. We also do have a lot more LME videos that'll be coming up, you know, even if they get blocked like a lot of them tend to do. If they die, they die. We want to get just more recommendations or something at least to get your mind off things on your little timeline. So we're just going to try to make as many more as we can. In the meantime, stay safe, stay clean. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I'm going to try to finally finish Cloud Atlas.